American Nightmare, the OTC, the Stone Cold Steve Austin, Dwayne The Rock Johnson rivalry of our new generation of professional wrestling is teaming up at Bad Blood to take on the new bloodline of Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Now, this all came about, of course, after that amazing steel cage match to kick off the new era of Friday Night SmackDown on the USA Network between Cody Rhodes and Solo Sikoa, a match that surprisingly did have no interference from the new bloodline, a match that, in my opinion, surprisingly saw a result of a clean pinfall, Cody Rhodes knocking off Solo Sikoa, which Cody Rhodes then signaled to the new tribal chief, quote unquote, we're done, that's it. But then, of course, Amalola Tonga Jacob Fatu came inside the steel cage, beat up on the undisputed WWE champion, only for the OTC, the original, and as he would state later on in his promo in the main event segment, the only tribal chief out of the table, Roman Reigns, would come down, take out the borderline. Him and Cody Rhodes would stand tall, which again would lead us to the main event segment where GM Nick Aldis would reveal Roman Reigns has already signed a contract for a tag team match with Roman and Cody against Solo and Fatu at Bad Blood in Cody's hometown, by the way, of Atlanta, Georgia, which will be really interesting to see how the crowd reacts because the crowd Friday Night SmackDown in Seattle, Washington, they were red hot all night, but they were even hotter for the OTC, more so in my opinion than the American Nightmare. Roman Reigns cuts a promo in the middle of the ring, again saying this is still his yard, this is still his show. Not only is he the original, he is the only tribal chief. He is interrupted then by the undisputed WWE champion after Roman said he did not need Cody Rhodes' help against the bloodline. Cody goes on to say that this was Roman Reigns' ring. This was Roman Reigns' show. It is not now. And I like that WWE is still acknowledging the tension between Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes because, as we know, under the previous administration, well, what happened would have been Roman Reigns comes back as a babyface. All of a sudden, him and Cody Rhodes are best friends and they take out the bloodline and they don't acknowledge their past history. I really like that WWE is still acknowledging that Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes don't get along. But the fact that essentially Jacob Fatu is a way bigger threat than Solo Sikoa, which we have all realized, obviously, once the Samoan werewolf has stepped on the scene in WWE. Roman realizing that he does need Cody Rhodes out because he does not have his family anymore. He does not have Jay. He does not have Jimmy. He does not have his wise man. He needs some help to take out the bloodline. And right now, because he destroyed WWE over his near 4-year run as the undisputed champion, he has no friends left. Him and Cody have a common enemy. And, you could say it's also similar to how The Rock and Cena teamed up in Survivor Series 2011 against Awesome Truth. I'll find it very interesting to see, obviously, how Roman and Cody get along in this match, if there's a turn somewhere. But I wanted to talk about this because I think WWE is planting seeds for the future. Not only for Survivor Series, but I think for the first Raw on Netflix. We all know there's conflicting reports out there about who Cody Rhodes will defend the undisputed title against. Will Randy Orton turn heel on him? Will they do Cody Rhodes against The Rock? Will they do Roman Reigns against the final boss? We don't know those answers to those questions yet. What I believe we do know is we are going to have a bloodline war games match at Survivor Series. I think eventually the entire bloodline, the original bloodline, will get back together. You'll have Roman Reigns, you'll have Jey Uso, you'll have Jimmy Uso, you'll have Sami Zayn, and I believe the fifth member of that team will be the undisputed champion Cody Rhodes, who will just never seem to get off the bloodline's back. Kevin Owens could be involved in there too instead of Cody, but I think it will be Cody Rhodes. And then, of course, on the bloodline side, you have Solo Sikoa, you have Jacob Fatu, you have Tonga Wawa, you have Tommy Tonga, and they will probably add a fifth member in there somewhere from the bloodline family, unless it is the final boss, which I do not see happening. However, I do think that what WWE is planting the seeds for, we all know that Monday Night Raw is leaving and going to Netflix January 5th, 2025. We all saw Friday Night SmackDown just leave Fox and go to USA Network, and how big of a match WWE made the Cody Solo Steel Cage match, and the big announcement of obviously Roman and Cody versus Jacob Fatu in Solo. The fact that Roman Reigns cut his first promo since his return at SummerSlam on this show. So you have all that going forward. I think WWE is very excited about being on the streaming platform Netflix, the flexibility that Netflix provides. We talked about the fact that Raw is going back to 2 hours October 7th. We talked about the fact that WWE is excited about the fact that Netflix gives them this versatility and the ability to not mute the crowds when they say, holy shit. And everything that we think that WWE could become a little more edgier and get more fans into the product. Peacock has had record viewership for PLEs, and there is a high expectation there for Netflix. With that being said, I think WWE is planting the seeds for the first Raw on Netflix. We already know it's going to be a stacked show. The return of Michael Cole and Pat McAfee on commentary. They've already announced John Cena's retirement tour is going to begin on that show. They already have announced Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes for that show. I believe the main event of the first one of that Raw on Netflix, where the location, by the way, has not yet been named, will be for the Undisputed Championship, the American Nightmare versus the Only Tribal Chief, Part 3. I don't think we're going to get it at WrestleMania, and it may seem weird that it's happening on Monday Night Raw after obviously WrestleMania 39, then WrestleMania 40. Everybody wants Roman and Cody Part 3. I think that's where we get a return of The Rock, and everybody thinks The Rock is going to, help Roman, but he ends up hurting Roman instead, and it's revealed that The Rock is the one behind the new bloodline with Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tonga Tommy Tonga. I think that's what we get. I think there's no bigger way for Raw to kick off. There will be no college football on that day. I think we get Cody Roman Part 3, the Raw after the first Raw on Netflix, which will lead to Rock Roman Reigns WrestleMania 41. Like that clip from the Brands World podcast? If so, make sure you go down there and hit that subscribe button. While you're down there hitting the subscribe button, make sure to also hit the notification bell so you never miss another upload. And make sure you check out all the other clips from the Brands World podcast right here on YouTube.